5 questions to actually ask on a date that actually matters as a Christian. Question number 1, what does their prayer life actually looks like? When you ask this question, you're not asking about the rehearsed churchy way people pray, but you want to find out if the person you're on the date with that could potentially, lead to marriage, does that person actually have a personal relationship with God where they pray when nobody is watching, where they have an intimate personal time carved out to spend in the presence of God? And this is a very important question because a lot of people can play church, but somebody who doesn't have an actual real prayer life or has a personal relationship with Christ is an immediate red flag. Because a man or a woman who cannot kneel before God cannot stand before you. Question number 2, how do they handle conflict? Because let's face it, people that are brought up from different cultural backgrounds, different, upbringing, oftentimes there's no way you guys will see eye to eye on everything. And as much as communication is important, you want to understand how this person reacts when there's conflict. Do they explode with anger? Do they ghost? Do they go silent? How can they communicate when something does not sit right with them? Are they moody for 3 weeks and don't talk to you or don't pick up their phone because you did or said something that does not please them? It's very important to really know how somebody handles conflict so that once you guys talk about it, you can know when, you need to both communicate and, kind of air out your grievances. And the truth is, how somebody treats you when they're in a relationship with you or how they handle conflict when they're in a relationship with you is the same thing they're going to take to marriage. So somebody who, ghosts you, when you guys have, a little disagreements whilst you're dating is not suddenly going to change when you get married. And it even becomes much tougher because now you're living in the same house with the person and you guys are going months without talking because the only way the person communicates is that they go silent. So it's very important so that you can unlearn behaviors that are toxic and build each other up. Question number 3 to ask when you're on a date with someone. And this is a little controversial. Not everybody really, it's a little tricky, but you have to or need to ask them, who are they submitted to? Or you can rephrase this question, who are they accountable to? No matter who they are, even if they are someone in ministry themselves, they need to have an accountability person, either a mentor, a pastor, or some type of accountability structure. And a lot of people will say this is not important, but you see, there are a lot of people who do not know how to take correction. Because if there is nobody that you can speak to in a situation where the person you're dating or do get married to is doing something and they need somebody that's higher or besides you to speak to them. If there's nobody that you respect or honors, you're going to be in trouble. And sometimes this is not even necessarily like a pastor. It could be a parent that they highly respect. It could be a family member. Of course, that's also a bit controversial. We're not going to go into that. But anybody who does not have someone they're accountable to can be a big red flag. Question number 4 you need to ask. What's your vision for the next 5 years? I know. It sounds cliche. And of course, a lot of people don't know what they want to do the next day, talk less than 5 years. But this is not like, some kind of like a quiz. You're quizzing the person, or it's not just like a generic question. But basically, it's for you to be able to know really what the person's goal and visions are. You want to make sure that whoever you're talking to or on the date with has a vision that aligns with you. And it's not just about their vision, but also basically what plan they have, even in terms of life and relationship. Because you might be talking to somebody and your goal is marriage, but the person's 5-year plan has nothing to do with marriage. So this is a time for you to know what the person's plan or idea is, either for you or for their life in general. Because let's face it, chemistry without direction is complete chaos. And if you don't know where they're going, you're going to end up following somebody who's totally confused, or somebody who's going to string you along for 2-3 years and then tell you that they're not ready or they never wanted to be with you in the first place. And this is a good time for you to really understand the person's mindset, how they think, how they process, and sort of see if is this person confused, or do they really know what life is about, or do they have a kind of idea of what they want to do. And it's not something that's set in stone. And this is both for the woman and the man. You may be in a stage where you may not really know what your sort of fixed plan is per se, but bringing this as a topic really helps you to kind of see the kind of mindsets the person you're on the date with has. Question number 5 but not the least. You need to ask the person you're on the date with what commitment means to them. Because the truth is, some people like the idea of love without the responsibility. Because some people just want to have a good time. They want to go out to eat. To them, that's it. They don't want to bear the actual responsibility of the work it takes to be able to, build a relationship, work on a relationship that leads to marriage. Because if commitment to somebody is just having a good time, but the person has no, idea of sacrifice, servanthood, honor, humility, and all that, then you're in for a big trouble. As children of God, dating is not just about collecting cute moments and pictures for IGs and Pinterest. It's a discerning covenant, because who you get married to determines the rest of your destiny. Because you're a person that is called and anointed by God, you want to make sure that you are not aligned to somebody who is sent from the pit of hell to destroy you. Make sure you're asking the right questions on your next date. Please tell me in the comments some great questions you think I missed that needs to be added to this list that everyone needs to ask the person they go on their next date with. And if this is something you're interested in, kindly make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share it to your friends group, and let's have a conversation. Remember that marriage is a covenant and not just for vibes. Shalom and God bless you.